guys, welcome to another episode of Porch Stories. I got some Fancy Nancy stories for us to read today. This is Fancy Nancy and the Posh Puppy. I am ecstatic. That's a fancy word for happy. We're going to get a puppy, a real one. Do you guys have pets at home? I have 4 cats. I've got one right here, and there's another one over there. The other 2 are inside. I hope you get a papillon like our neighbor's dog. You say it like this, papillon. In French, it means butterfly. Oh, look, it's a small dog. Are your pets small or are they big? One of my cats is really, really big. I help Mrs. Devine take care of Jewel. We take her to the beauty salon. We buy her new ensembles. That's a fancy word for clothes. Look at how fancy that dog is. Papillons are so posh. That's a fancy word for fancy. Look, they're having a tea party. There's only one problem. My parents. Papillons like to stay indoors, my dad says. They're too little. And delicate, my mom says. What about one of these dogs? Do you know what delicate means? It means it's small and fragile and like you have to be careful because it'll break easy. So look, they've got this golden retriever, German shepherd, Great Dane, Doberman. Do you think Nancy wants a big dog or a small dog? I think she kind of wants a small dog. I shake my head. Too big, too brown, too plain. Sometimes it's hard being the only fancy person in the family. Then I get an idea that is spectacular. That's a fancy word for great. We can puppy sit for Jewel. Do you know what puppy sit means? Kind of sounds like babysit. Do you know what babysit means? Babysit means you watch kids like a daycare. Puppy sit means that you watch somebody's animal for them. My parents say, okay, so does Mrs. Devine. My family will see how happy we'll be with a papillon puppy. It's a lot of P's. It's a lot of alliteration. I introduce Jewel to my doll, Maribel. I show my sister how to groom Jewel. Groom means like you give a bath or brush your animals, keep them clean, and how to scoop up her poop. My sister wants to hold and kiss Jewel. I tell her, you must be gentle. What a responsible girl you are, my mom says. Some dog is going to be very lucky. Merci, I say. That's French for thank you. 2 of my friends are walking their dogs. Come over to my house, I say. I'm puppy sitting. All the dogs can play together. Look, those are some big dogs. Rusty splashes in the wading pool. Jewel hides behind my legs. Oh, Jewel seems to be a little nervous about the big dog playing. Scamp plays fetch. Go, Jewel, go get the ball, I yell. Jewel just looks at me. Jewel's not interested in playing fetch, apparently. She gets exhausted pretty quickly. I tell my friends, that's a fancy word for tired. While Jewel gets her beauty rest, we have refreshments. Do you know what refreshments means? It means like snacks. So like cookies, they're having cookies and probably lemonade. Oh no, look at what my sister is doing. Poor Jewel is terrified. What's her sister doing? She's taking Jewel for a ride in a wagon on top of a bunch of pillows. Mom, come quick, Jewel is going to be sick. Yak. Dog's throwing up. When we get our papillon, I'm not letting her near it, I say. My mom whispers, she doesn't know any better. She was just trying to be nice. I know that. We take Jewel back to her house. She is a perfect dog for Mrs. Devine, but maybe she isn't the perfect dog for us. I'm so sad I hardly get fancy when we go to the King's Crown for dinner. On the way home, we drive by the animal shelter. Let's take a look, my mom says. All those dogs need a family to love them. I ask the lady, are there any fancy dogs here? And she says, I think I have just the dog for you. She's funny and playful and smart and cuddly. Her name is Frenchie. Now, Fancy Nancy loves French things. So I think she might be happy with this Frenchie dog. Frenchie, I like the sound of that. Frenchie runs right to me and jumps in my lap. She likes it when my sister hugs her. Look, Frenchie is the perfect dog for us. Ooh, does that look like a small dog or a big dog? It's a bigger dog. Remember before she thought that big dogs wouldn't be right for her. She wanted a little dog. Seems like maybe she changed her mind. My dad says Frenchie is a LaSalle Spaniel. That is a very unique breed. Unique is fancy for one of a kind. Ooh, she found a big dog that's fancy and likes to play. You know what? Maybe that's even better than fancy. The end. Thanks for joining me.